I start in meditation for a lot of these gatherings, one, because I want to be a clear channel, so it helps prepare this vessel. But two, I like the game of closing my eyes, not seeing who's walking in the door, and feeling the energy. And one of the words that was coming through was hesitation or lack of boldness. We come in and there was like, the whispering and the and half of you dropped your water bottles. Oh, I can't make too much noise, right? I knew it was you. And so there's like a hesitation, right? And when we are listening to our intuition, and Cheryl, you said the word hit, like it just kind of hits. It's kind of like a go for it. It's this quick message that means you should do something, not do something, say something, not say something. And we all probably know the feeling of not listening to our intuition. It just doesn't feel good, right? Like maybe we feel it in our gut, our solar plexus, and something happens that is maybe not totally in our favor, but we learn from it. I mean, that's the big thing. And a big part of today is learning to listen, which is why I teach meditation so much, because I'm not going to be here to tell you what to do. I can't teach you how to channel, but I can teach you ways to let go of the hesitation, of the doubt, so you can be the clear channel that you are meant to be. I like to think of us as antennas. We're these receptors for the universe, and sometimes divine guidance comes in the form of a Dave or a Vanessa or an Angie. And if we are quiet enough and we listen throughout our day, everybody has wisdom, guidance to share with us. It could also come in the form of nature. It could come in the form of finding a penny on the ground that represents something to you. So the messages are always there. But we tend to distract ourselves with the physical world and our cell phones and things we think we need, things we have named as having meaning, or we rely on certain things that take us away from actually being okay, just being in the moment. So that's part of why I asked you, how did you feel? And Angie, I appreciate your honesty with the thumbs down. It can be very uncomfortable to sit in silence and stillness when we're not used to doing that. So that if I can pass anything off to you today, regardless of the messages that come through and what happens, meditate, get quiet, and find something that works for you, not just what you see other people doing. Oh, I can't do that. Maybe walking for you is your meditation, right? Being in nature. Maybe listening to certain musics can get you into that clear mind. Okay, so find what works for you. All right, so we've been leading for the past year or so classes on intuition, and don't worry, you don't have needed to attend it, but those who have attended either Cheryl's intuition class, Cheryl, Carol, or myself, we're going to kind of build on our intuition together as a community over this next X amount of time. So you'll notice similarities and also maybe pick up on some new things today too. So to kind of review those who have taken intuition classes here, particularly I talk about it in the enhancing intuition. What blocks our intuition? Fear. Okay.
Worldly distractions.
Worldly distractions. Ego. That was the first thing I wrote on my paper, Jenny. Anything else? Dave. Other people. Yeah.
I was thinking stress. So that
stress.
Kind of
Stress. Yeah. Anything else? What have you noticed? What have you noticed takes you away from being or feeling connected?
I think to echo that stress, when I said becoming a mom, it felt like a block was put up. It was those first couple years, you're just feeding and changing and making sure he's not sticking his finger in a light socket.
Yeah.
Your house is a mess. and everything's hectic.
Yeah.
And I think that it stops you from even thinking you have the time to be still, let alone checking in each moment, kind of thing.
We can almost even say being a human being.
Yeah.
Does that cover everything?
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way, but yeah, because it's necessary, right? These things, we have to eat, we have to, to make money and
there are
house
seasons
and all
where
the
we're
things.
busier than others.
Absolutely, absolutely. What helps our intuition? What enhances our intuition?
Quiet nature.
Nature, quiet.
Well, stillness.
What was it? Working.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's no wrong answer. There's no wrong
Well,
answers.
my husband walked out of his job
Okay.
2.5 months ago. You know, he's worked for a very long time, and I'm very proud he's provided, but he's in my space.
So solitude can help.
I like to see him, but
Yeah,
my time.
I'm with you, Angie.
Now he's just home, and I'm like, we can't.
Yeah.
So you have a Dave too. So the remote stuff is. My TV in 31 years has never been on this much. So I like going to work.
You need this.
How about-
I love them, but
Yeah.
I get you, girl.
How about laughter? Not taking things too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel more relaxed? Like we're talking. I heard you all cackling out there. Like, and it's good. I like release anything that you think is a problem, because when you think that there's a problem, you're forgetting that there's this great universe that has everything in control. Everything is always okay, all of the time. Okay, we're here. We've made it. It's good.
Not taking ourselves too seriously.
Yeah, I know you're good at that. That's great.
Music is.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Music's a good music.
Yes.
I always have music on.
Yeah.
It
Playing.
makes a world of difference.
Playing music.
Playing.
Yep.
Oh, art.
Art.
Oh, good.
Art. Yeah. So these are things that you can tune into if you're feeling like. Do you ever feel like you're stuck? Do you ever say that? Like, I just feel stuck, right? Look at what you are doing and how you're spending your time in this body. Are you spending it up here, thinking of things that aren't happening? Are you distracting yourself with worldly human things, working too much, focusing on, I gotta heal my body. I gotta do, and I think us healing facilitators are the guiltiest, because we're trying to fix all of the world's problems, right? We come into this because we want the world to be better, but it's, I have to help this person. I have to check in on this person. I have to, this, gotta be good. I'm speaking to myself. I hear you, self. This is me, and why I devote so much of my time to meditation, because it tires me out and I can't hear the voice of the divine when I'm distracted. Okay? So, and when we do that, the ego is the one that is responding to all of these worldly stimuli, which is good, right? We are here in this body. Let's honor that. Let's have fun while we're here, eating food, making friends, getting hurt, learning love, all of those things that we're doing. So the ego is the human essence, right? It's what binds us to this earth. It's necessary for us to have the human experience, while also acknowledging that there's more to us than the human experience, okay? So when we emphasize the ego, we may get caught up in these worldly things, thinking we're stuck, thinking that, there's nothing else out there, everything's terrible, all of that, right? We restrict our connection to what I call the higher mind, the higher intelligence, the voice of God, whatever you want, whatever is out there, okay? We are disconnected from that when we are anchored in the ego. Many of us experience typically hardships in our life to help awaken us to what is beyond the ego, right? We hear it like the awakening process, the dark night of the soul. Again, language, call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing to me, right? So when we begin to awaken, we start to hear these voices in our head where we used to get thrown into insane asylums for even speaking of that. Thank God that we are in this era where we can, I just heard, did you see, Paula, bless your heart. I walk out of that door and I saw her standing there, just standing there. I don't know for how long. And I had to question, is that a ghost or is that a person? Like, can I, right? Can I touch? You know, I could have been thrown in what they call the loony bin, which is, you know, no longer appropriate to say. But, you know, we're so blessed to live in this time when we can explore the voices in our head and actually learn from them or it. So when we releasing the ego and putting this lower mind, the thinking mind aside, opens us up to knowledge of the universe. So it is possible to sit here, not ask anybody questions, and know everything there is to know about the personality of each person in this room. Okay? Are you with me on that? I'm assuming you know that that's possible because you're here and you're wanting to learn kind of more about how to facilitate something like that. Okay? We're not going to get into the deep depths of this. Maybe we're going to be a part 2, 3, 4, 10 for us to practice this. We're just scratching the surface. So we have, through the antenna of our energy, the ability to access all of the knowledge in the universe. Think of your dreams. Okay? If you dream, does anybody not dream? Maybe I'll say that way. Or, okay.
Rarely.
So, rarely. Okay. But dreaming, when we dream, the body is here, but the consciousness goes out. Some people experience different lifetimes, different realms, different situations. They may be themselves in a different time. They may embody a whole different kind of being, right? So we go out, even though the body's still here. So that has to teach us that there's more than what this is, and that we have access to other informations outside of what we can actually perceive from the human standpoint right here. Okay? Again, getting quiet allows us to access this information. I'm probably going to say that a couple times to you because you can remember when you're thinking, I can't do this, I don't know, all this is bullshit. No, just get quiet. Just get quiet and listen. Okay? So some people channel through writing where they get information. They can embody a different being and start writing, and sometimes the handwriting changes, and they can channel messages from people who have passed, from enlightened beings, from all different kinds of sources. Some people embody, and this is a lot in the Hindu tradition too, with reincarnation, they embody past deities. So they're actually channeling the human embodiment of God over generation, right? So there's different ways to look at it. I like to simplify it. I also like to think that none of us are special or everybody's special, right? I think that we all have the ability to do this. You don't need to meditate out in a cave or be, blessed by a certain being in order to do this. We are spiritual beings and we all have the ability to do this, okay? So what you can explore is what works for you. How do you best hear or channel the information from the divine? Okay, and our intro to intuition classes teaches all of the clairs. We can hear information, we can have this inner knowing, we can sense, we can feel different energies within a person. So all of that's information. So that's like the intuition class. So we're going to move ahead into what do we do with this information in Reiki 1 class, and even in Reiki 2 class. I have students that want to just jump right into the guidance. And what does this mean? For how many students say, well, what does this mean? I feel this and I see this, but I don't know what it means. It doesn't matter, okay? It's energy, it's moving. Let's learn to connect with it, okay? But this class, we get to play around with that. What does it mean, okay? What does it mean to us? What could this mean for the other person? And how can we, more importantly, effectively share this information so the other person can receive it, okay? Any questions at this point? Okay. All right. So we in this community, we hold very strongly what's called compassionate communication, and a part of that is non-advisement. Okay, even myself, I consider myself a guide. If students ask me for advice, I don't give them the answer because I don't know what is good for you. Okay, but what I can do and what I practice and teach others to practice is to help guide other people into getting that answer for themselves. Okay, because we are the only ones that know what to do and when to do it. Otherwise, advice comes from personal experience, which can be helpful to explore and all of that, but that's not what we're doing as intuitives, okay? We can read books, we can do all, there's lots of information to get advice. We're practicing something different here, which is channeling the greater mind. So do you see the difference between advising versus guidance? Okay. Guidance is unattached to the outcome. What the person does is completely up to them. We are unaffected by it. Guidance has nothing to do with us. Guidance is neutral. If we are delivering a message to somebody and we have an emotional reaction, that emotional reaction can distract us from effectively communicating this guidance to the other person, because then the empathy gets in the way, like we saw in Reiki 1 training, right? It's the human emotional reaction, that's a part of the ego. It's good, don't deny it, but recognize the difference. What's the difference between, the voice of my thinking mind and the voice of the higher mind? Practice. Keep practicing, you'll learn the difference. If you have an emotional reaction, it's probably the human side of you that is affecting the message versus letting it come through direct. Okay? So with intuitive guidance, and this is something that I, this is my pathway. Okay? If I'm working with a student who's there for, we'll say, a Reiki healing, and a message comes through, this person's father passed away, okay, and that's what I hear, and it feels very clear, and I get the message that they had a terrible relationship, okay, so that's the message that I hear. I go with the rules of 3, okay. If it's something really big like that I feel doubt, I don't want to be wrong, this is something that could be really uncomfortable for, the situation, I let it go. Okay. If it comes back, I say, okay, thank you, I hear you again, I'm going to let it go. If it comes back a third time, I know this is it, okay? Let it go, detach, reset the mind. If it comes back again, then I listen to it, okay? Now, after that, is this information simply for me to know so I can more effectively support this person? Sometimes that's the case. Particularly if somebody's been physically abused, they may say, yeah, it's okay for you to touch me, but I get that sense this person's been abused before, and there's certain parts of their body that say, no, no, no. I can now, without talking to them about it, I can either ask them again so they can use their voice to say, yes, it's okay, or actually, no, I actually don't want to be touched in these parts of my body, okay? Or I can simply leave those parts alone because I know that this is something really difficult for them to talk about and they're not ready to move past it yet, and that's okay, right? I'm not attached to it. I'm not forcing them to move past a trauma that they're not ready to heal. Is this making sense? Okay. So then, after that, if the guidance comes through and I feel that pull to share this information with them because it is productive for them to talk about, it's a part of the healing work we're to do together, then the next tricky part is, how do I get that information from the divine to this person? Is it in my own words? Am I translating a message? Am I actually directly channeling a message as whoever it is, whatever it is talking to me? Am I using their words, the receiver's words? So this happens a lot with people who have a different religious practice than me or spiritual practice. They may use different words for God. Let's say worship Krishna, okay? And so I may say Krishna instead of what I might call God or the divine, okay? So I translate based on what is best received for them. Again, in that moment, I'm a clear vessel. I'm detached. I'm not denying my own personal connection and human identity to how it is I connect with the divine. But in that moment, I'm a clear vessel. So any language goes because I know that that's going to be most supportive for them. Okay? And I think that's the toughest part that I've found about being an intuitive healer is because I have to let everything go. All right? And the human can still exist. And sometimes too, especially if somebody opens up to me about something really devastating that happened to them, the body will cry. I'll witness tears coming down my face. But if I feed that, if I focus on that, I'm not going to be effectively channeling the message. Okay, I'm going to be focusing on the human heart versus divine knowledge. So let the body cry and stay connected to what that guidance is that's coming through. Okay, I find it very tough. I find it very, very, very tough. One of the early things that I learned about intuition was to never call ourselves crazy. Right? Like, oh, this might be crazy or weird. We say weird a lot. We even got, I didn't wear my shirt today, but we have our Welcoming the Weirdos shirt. Like, why is weird supposed to be a bad thing? Like, let's embrace that, right? We're challenging societal robotic structure, right? So never call yourself crazy. Always trust the instincts that are coming through. You can never be wrong. You can never be wrong. Okay, do you believe, don't believe me, but believe yourself with that, right? It's leading you somewhere. It doesn't mean that it's the most pleasant path. Do I need to say that again too? Doesn't mean it's the most pleasant path. It probably won't be the most pleasant path, but it will lead to spiritual understanding, and that's what we can know to be true. That's why I'm here, is to understand myself more. And I imagine that's also why you're here, regardless of the consequences. Right? Have you noticed things tend to shift in a big way, positive or negative, when you surrender to the guidance coming through? When you just know something to be true and you do it anyways, even though it doesn't make sense to anybody else? No, listen, no. No, know who or what you're talking to, okay? Call it God, call it whatever you want. Get to know, have a personal relationship with whatever is that is out there that feels good, that feels right, that feels like love, because that's where the message is coming from. You can give it a personality if you want. Some people connect with beings from the past, enlightened beings, or past mystics. Some people have spirit guides. What do you call them, Cheryl? Your heavenly...
I call my heavenly team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be one, it could be many, okay? Do with what resonates with you, okay? And you're not wrong. What I've learned, if this resonates with you, is that it doesn't matter what it looks like, what we call it, where it comes from, the story. It just matters that we are connecting to it. And I've found for myself that different stages of my life, the one that I'm talking to takes on a different form. Okay, it may take on the form of Christ. It may take on the form of a grandmother. It may take, this is like I'm going through my pathway, may return back to Christ. It may come into this, I have this yellow being of light, right? I ask this yellow being of light, well, what do I call you? Whatever you want. What do you want to call me? Okay, right? So I'm learning it doesn't matter, but feel that there's something apart, that we are a part of, that is communicating to you, that loves you unconditionally, that you can never disrupt that connection to unless you do it yourself. Okay, so get to know who or what you are talking to, and then we listen. Okay, we just get quiet. This is humility. We aren't taught this as human beings. We're taught to take charge, okay, to go get them, make money, climb the ladder, get the American dream, all the things, right? This is just sitting down and shutting up, okay? It's the hardest part. This is easy, we feel it. This, we might not feel anything until we feel everything, okay? And then know, again, trust that this is the one we're talking to and that this information is real, it is correct, it is good, okay? Know, listen, and know. So, we're gonna do some work with ourselves. You have your card. Some of you probably already looked at it. That's okay. Don't let your mind tell you the meaning of this card. Okay? So we're going to do this as a meditation. Before we begin, just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Take a few more like that at your own pace. Use the breath to purify the vessel. This is a new moment. You know nothing other than there's something out there that has the answer that you want. Feel the presence of that love, of that guide. You may feel it within you, above you, around you. Just feel it. Now, before you look at your card, come into it with curiosity, with unattachment. As if you are delivering a message for somebody else. When you look at your card, listen. If you want, you can close your eyes again a couple times. Go ahead, you could pick it up if you want. If you're ready. Be unattached to the message that comes through. Notice what you feel, hear, and sense is behind the meaning of this card. When we share intuitive guidance with another, it's also for us. Okay, and I'm always I'm not surprised anymore, but I'm in awe when I'll be going through something and it never fails. A student that comes in starts talking to me about what's going on in their life, and it just happens to be what I'm going on in my life. And so then I channel the message and I'm listening, right, the whole time. And it really makes the spiritual journey super fun and exciting, but also we can heal at an incredible rate if we're always just listening. We're not denying the message, right? It's the humility. The listening is the humility, right? All right. So I'll have you pass your cards this way. I'm going to reshuffle, and then the last exercise we're going to do is... Yes, you may, absolutely. We're going to do the same thing, but with a partner. But get with a partner that you either have never met before or you don't know much about, because that's going to be more of a challenge. And then it can be difficult to intuitively guide somebody that you know information about, because it's hard to, we want them to feel well, all of that, and that can get in the way of maybe telling them something that they may not want to hear. So it can be more challenging that way. So sit across from somebody who either you don't know or that you don't know very well, and wherever you go is fine too. So we'll start again with meditation, because we want to reset the mind, okay? So forget everything that just happened. Okay, wipe the slate clean. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Do that a couple times. Use the breath to clear the channel, purify the vessel. You are a neutral presence of the divine. You are unattached to the other person, their story. You don't know what's best for them. But the message coming through is exactly what they need to hear for them to know themselves more. Become aware of their energy across from you. You may notice a certain feeling in your body. You may begin to hear words, see images, colors. So tune into that energy. How does their energy present itself to you beyond the thinking mind? The rest of this exercise is going to be silent. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Turn the card over and receive the message for the other person. No, listen, no. It's so fun and hard and beautiful and just, be still and know. Be still and know.
Oh, wow.
So take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Place your hands on your heart space, honoring this unified heart from the human to the divine. All of what channels through you is always good and right and pure and loving. May we continue to go out into the world, blessing it by how we learn to love ourselves first. I honor you all in your individual journeys and stories and challenges and triumphs. Thank you for being a vessel for this love to flow. May the whole world be blessed by our inner work. Thank you.